Greetings. On behalf of the Health Studies Collegium Foundation and the WellGuard Program 5 Key Strategies to Restore Health, welcome. My name is Russell Jaffe. I'm an internist, clinical pathologist, clinical nutritionist, allergist immunologist, methodologist, overseas fellow of the Royal Society of Medicine, and a senior fellow at the Health Studies Collegium Foundation, where integrative science and clinical policy initiatives have been developed for the last 25 years. I'm founder and chairman of Perk Integrative Health, Eliza Act Biotechnologies, and RMJHRX, and you can reach me by email or through the web. And it really is my privilege, pleasure, and good fortune to help present to you the 5 key strategies for better practices. I'm going to briefly review them and focus on this, the 5th and last, the healthy mind and body practices component. So to review the 5 key strategies for better practices, they are immune system tolerance and delayed allergies, because inflammation is really repair deficit, and when we understand inflammation, we understand the links to chronic, to autoimmune, to inflammatory, as well as to a chronic progressive illness, which is 80% of all the ill health in this country. So immune system tolerance and identification of delayed allergies that burden immune systems and prevent repair, promoting repair deficit known as inflammation, is part 1. Part 2 is the HAQ, the Health Assessment Questionnaire, to personalize supplements and lifestyle. Part 3 is safer toxin removal, all 3 phases. Part 4 is the alkaline way, applying nature, nurture, and wholeness in practices and in practical ways that inspire, that inform, that motivate, that engage, and that help people through their habits of daily living restore, maintain, or enhance their health. And part 5, evoking human healing responses by removing obstacles to recovery. This section is strategy number 5, healthy mind and body practices, in their own right helpful and synergistic with the whole approach. This includes the Health Assessment Questionnaire, the HAQ, that allows us to personalize recommendations based on the information the individual provides, plus the cell culture, to identify supplements, activity and environment recommendations, the option of a rotation diet if that fits your practice style, all brought together in the Joy in Living the Alkaline Way guide. So the Health Assessment Questionnaire, the HAQ, identifies and presents the priority supplements. These are Perk Survival Foundation supplements. In the 21st century, certain supplements, a super multi, antioxidants, buffering minerals, are essential. They're no longer elective. They're required for 21st century survival in light of the total burden of toxins and distress under which we live. And the Health Assessment Questionnaire personalizes for secondary or supplemental supplements, additional supplements that can be added in stages based on your specific guidance and understanding of the individual. And the Health Assessment Questionnaire gives us information about behavioral and lifestyle recommendations, helpful for the kind of comprehensive, lifelong, and really effective outcomes that we desire, that we specialize in, that we've helped pioneer, and that we make available to you through the WellGuard program. You become what you eat and drink, think and do. Change consumption, save your life. This is true for me. I'll let you think about the truth for you. That what I eat and drink, what I think and do, what I consume physically, mentally, emotionally, environmentally, determines the quality of my life. And if I choose well and wisely, can save my life. One of the essential pieces is cell net acid excess, NAE, that harms cells. Too much acid corrodes. It upsets the cell proton gradient. You must have a cell proton gradient so that the cytoplasm can accept the acid proton from the mitochondria in order to get the ATP. The ATP is the activity work molecule of the body, and when the cell proton gradient is upset and reduced and impaired, the consequences are a decrease in ATP to ADP ratio, an increase in metabolic acids, and minerals lost in the urine, sweat, and stool. As a consequence, a decrease in first morning urine pH. So we will recommend measuring first morning urine pH at home on a freshly voided specimen after 6 hours of rest, and we'll discuss later why that's important and how to integrate that into the WellGuard part of your practice program. Then there's the alkaline whey benefits to neutralize excess cell acids so that we have acids where they're needed and helpful, but not where they're unhelpful and where they reduce cell energy. Alkaline whey benefits include restoring digestive and immune system health, immune defense and repair health, digestive and microbiome health, so important, so central to the alkaline whey program. And alkaline whey benefits include regaining immune tolerance so that the immune system is resilient, is able to neutralize any foreign invader and repair us while still having ability to eliminate abnormal cells as part of the natural anti-cancer surveillance system. All of this is integrated into the alkaline whey benefits. Let's look at the history. First, with regard to pH itself, or acid-base balance and equilibrium, Svante August Arrhenius was a Swedish physical chemist, and in 1903 he was awarded the Nobel Prize for his earlier work that defined acid-base with an ion theory. And if you look at the lower right, you see that ionic theory defines acids as net hydrogen ions in solution and bases that produce hydroxide ions. So it's the ratio of acids to bases. It's a logarithmic scale. 7 is neutral, below 7 is acid, above 7 is alkaline. And in 1884, as a physical chemist, he brought forward this basic idea of pH, and we've applied it, as others have, in the biological human sphere. In terms of alkaline whey history, there's also the redox, the oxidation-reduction potential, the reduction-oxidation potential, the cell pH and electrochemistry. And Otto Heinrich Warburg was a cell mechanism chemist, one of the first biological chemists. He was a biologist and a biochemist, and his cancer theory, as you see on the right, was that low oxygen and increased acid, that is a decrease in cell pH and a net acid excess, as well as oxidative stresses, meaning antioxidant depletion, that would convert cells into abnormal and proliferatively independent cancer cells. On the lower right, you see that alkaline cells are healthier and acidic cells are unhealthier. And we recommend the alkaline whey to maintain the healthy proton gradient, the alkaline environment that allows cells to electively produce protective molecules, as well as have an immune system that's able to defend, repair, and eliminate abnormal cells. And another aspect of the alkaline whey history that we've uniquely brought together has to do with metabolic acidosis. And here it's only Sigurd Andersen's work, a Danish physician and methodologist, instrumentation specialist. He worked with radiometer on the early blood gas and acid-based machines and their interpretation. He did over 100,000 cases and published this many years ago, helping to develop the area of blood gas and acid-based testing, showing how narrow, as you see on the bottom, how narrow is the alkaline zone of health and how wide and extensive is metabolic acidosis as it contributes to underlying chronic inflammatory and autoimmune illness. The Alkaline Way brings healthy balance, and it does this through the Joy in Living the Alkaline Way, a book you can see on the right. It's digitally available for downloading. It's continuously updated. It's now in its 18th edition. It is physically available for purchase through our client services, and that information will be available at the end of this webinar. Included in the Joy in Living the Alkaline Way are the alkalinizing foods and water that we recommend, activity and first AM urine pH to measure how we individually are in regard to acid-alkaline balance, with the use of magnesium and choline citrate in a unique combination that enhances uptake and chaperones delivery of the magnesium while using actively and beneficially the choline and citrate in the body. Abdominal breathing, green light and sunlight, eating in harmony with your nature and lifestyle, eating foods you can digest, assimilate and eliminate without immune burden, eating as much as possible that's locally grown, from your own garden, from a CSA, a community-supported agriculture farm, from vine-ripened organic or biodynamically sourced as much as possible. The Alkaline Way brings healthy balance by making restorative sleep a priority and helping develop activities that transition us from the activity of the day into the restorative restfulness of sleep. And the Alkaline Way brings healthy balance by working muscles and relaxing in proportion. So we engage every part of the body in ways we enjoy so that we use and renew. We also actively relax and enhance our healing responses through mental and physical consistency. Now, we said that the Alkaline Way include foods' effects on the body, and this is the chart of food effects on body chemistry. And you see on the right the more alkaline and on the left the more acid foods. And we recommend that 80% of what's on your plate be from the alkaline side while you're recovering, 60% while you're maintaining health. So you always and regularly from the diet have an alkaline reserve coming in of minerals and alkaline forming elements, making condiments out of staples in the current diet and making staples out of condiments. So detoxifying foods become staples in the Alkaline Way. And eating foods that have no immune reaction, that are easy to digest, that enhance our digestive competence, that help our microbiome is implicit in this approach. This means enhancing prebiotics, probiotics, and symbiotics, and we've talked about that in more detail on other occasions. Now here are common acid-producing foods. These should be condiments in the diet, not staples. And for many people, for too many people, these have become staples, not condiments. And the consequence, just in terms of the stomach, include enhanced acid reflux, increased risk of arthritides and cancers and gastritis, and GERD, gastroesophageal reflux, and gout, and fat and cholesterol and lipid imbalances in the blood, and so much more. We want Alkaline Way water, but we want well, spring, or multi-filtered mineral-rich water. We want hard water. We want water from the third aquifer. We do not want softened water. We do not want distilled, deionized, or mineral-poor water. We want wellspring or multi-filtered mineral-rich water to bring minerals into our body, and if we need to enhance uptake and chaperone their delivery, we recommend the combination of things like Perk Mag Plus Guard and Perk Choline Citrate. Now, our human body is 70% water, so water is our beverage of choice. Yet too many of the water and or tonic sodas that we have available are strongly acid, contribute substantially amounts of fixed acids that the kidney and the body has to deal with, and we recommend, as shown on the right, the alkaline third aquifer mineral-rich hard waters that are healthier, that help the body maintain its resilience and repair, that keep flexibility in blood vessels, that keep the heart pumping smoothly and efficiently and regularly, that enhance brain function, particularly in regard to clarity of thinking and all that's associated with a high energetic state in the central nervous system. Now, first morning urine pH is important. NAE, net acid excess, is the acronym. Cell acidosis is the consequence of depletion of magnesium and potassium because of too high a production of acids in the cell and or too little replenishment of magnesium and potassium because the uptake channels are often inhibited. So we suggest that after 6 hours of rest, the urine fluid has equilibrated with the genitourinary tract and the lining cells from the kidney through the bladder, and that this is a clinically useful assessment of metabolic acidosis risk, also known as NAE, and of the intracellular mineral status, the concentration of potassium and magnesium in particular. The person that I associate with the deepest understanding of cellular metabolic acidosis and its implications is Julian Seifter. Had a recent article in the New England Journal of Medicine and has for many years contributed a chapter to Harrison's Textbook of Medicine on the subject of metabolic acidosis, and at Mass General Hospital in Boston is one of the experts in identifying how important in regard to health and well-being is net acid excess, or the availability of potassium and magnesium as needed based on the production of acids in the body and in the cells to maintain that healthy proton gradient that allows health and well-being to be maintained. Metabolic acidosis risk involves buffering mineral need, and this can be linked to probability of living 10 years. We want to live 10 years, therefore we want to keep our first morning urine pH in the green 6.5 to 7.5 range. We do that by living the alkaline way and including magnesium with choline citrate as needed. A pH lower than 6.5 means metabolic acidosis, and a pH consistently above 7.5 suggests catabolic illness, where the body is sacrificing and cannibalizing amino acids, with ammonia loss in the urine causing an artificial elevation in the urinary pH. To review, urine after 6 hours of rest should be in the goal value range of 6.5 to 7.5. Why? Because excess acid wears you out, as you see on the left. You're too acidic if the urine pH is less than 6.5 in the morning. The healthy repair zone is recommended, the green middle path, the healthy pH 6.5 to 7.5 range, and catabolic illness tears you down. Too alkaline, more than 7.5, suggests cannibalizing amino acids for energy because the cells are energy depleted and challenged, and they're wasting ammonia into the urine, into the sweat, into the stool because of the tearing down of protein into amino acids to survive the low energy state. So the first urine after more than 6 hours of rest, when the urine is equilibrated with cells, is worthwhile measuring and logging, and people will often find that when they're in the healthy pH range, they're more optimistic, productive, and efficient. When they're too acidic or when they're too alkaline, their symptoms are more prominent, their productivity goes down, as does their quality of life. Here's a little bit of data on 4 individuals. For 4 weeks, they took magnesium alone. Then they combined magnesium with percholine citrate. And then after 4 weeks, they continued the magnesium but discontinued the choline citrate. And what we see is fairly consistent. Each of the individuals for the 4 weeks they were taking magnesium had the same ionized magnesium in the plasma level, lower than desirable. Then when adding the PERC choline citrate to the PERC Mag Plus Guard, they had an increase consistently in their ionized magnesium over the 4 weeks when they had the combination. And then during the last 4 weeks, 3 of them taking magnesium showed decline or wasting of magnesium, whereas 1, the individual with the blue to turquoise line, seemed to maintain magnesium levels after they were restored. So here are individual examples of the uniqueness that combining PERC Mag Plus Guard and PERC choline citrate can do to overcome magnesium deficiency, particularly in the people whose calcium magnesium ATPase uptake channel and pore has been inhibited by toxic metals or distress, inhibited by solvent residues or hormone disruptors. In regard to mind and body, abdominal breathing is recommended to calm the mind and the body. It deactivates the nervous system's stress responses. It relaxes the body. It decreases depression, anxiety, and inflammation. It allows the body to heal, and it's consistent with the rest of the alkaline way of living. And then mindfulness practices. Mind, body, and spirit are connected. Everything that affects the mind affects the body and vice versa. So we recommend such activities on a daily basis as Tai Chi Chuan, Hatha Prana Yoga, combination of physical exercises and breathing. It might be for you Pilates or Feldenkrais or Traeger movement education, or perhaps it would be Alexander technique, something that consistently, gently, effectively moves all of your mobile parts, all your joints, muscles, and bones, so that by moving and engaging them, they can be renewed, and so that you can be more centered through the practice that over millennia has proven its value in society. We also recommend phototherapy, the use of dichromatic green lights or sunlight. Ambling in verdant forests or in the dappled green sun of nature is recommended. And absent that, the use of dichromatic green lights, 150 watts, from a comfortable distance of about 4 feet, so that the nerves that go from the retina in the eye directly to the pineal master gland can receive the green stimulation, the green harmonizing frequencies that only dichromatic light can provide, but that dichromatic light does provide just as does the sun, because dichromatic bulbs generate the true green chroma and thus emulate what we receive when we're walking in the forest of green. So phototherapy, mindfulness practices, abdominal breathing, they are recommended. Eating in harmony with our nature, so no monocropping, organic compost when possible, biodynamic preparations to feed the roots and the leaves to make the plants healthier and more productive, and recognizing farms as ecosystems. We recommend biodynamics and have in our front yard a permaculture food forest. We recommend a holistic, ecological, and ethical approach to farming, gardening, food, and nutrition as part of the overall alkaline way. We recommend working our muscles through exercise and a variety of movements that we enjoy, walking at least 45 minutes a day, or at least half an hour of a variety of exercises, some of which are weight-bearing, some of which are cardio, endurance enhancing, and others of which make sure that every part of us is moved well and regularly, so that those parts that are moved can renew and we can maintain through our entire lifespan a high renewing immune defense and repair system. To summarize, the alkaline way brings healthy balance by bringing alkalinizing foods that can be digested, assimilated, and eliminated without immune burden, and water and watery beverages, including herbal teas and fruit spritzers and wine spritzers. It includes activity and measuring and logging first morning urine pH to see individual needs for minerals like magnesium, and using magnesium with choline citrate to enhance uptake and chaperone delivery where and as needed, to include abdominal breathing, green light and sunlight, eating in harmony with our nature and lifestyle, and as much as possible, eating locally grown, say, CSA, community-supported agriculture farm, participation-based, or local green grocers or local farm markets, eating as much as possible that's vine-ripened, organic, or biodynamically derived. I can tell you from experience, it tastes better. I can also tell you from experience, you'll feel and function better. And the Alkaline Way brings healthy balance by making restorative sleep a priority, and by working muscles and relaxing in proportions. We add the predictive biomarkers that add evidence, and technically a predictive biological marker is a specific subcategory of analytic observations that are objective indications of medical state observed from outside the patient that can be measured accurately and reproducibly while predicting 10-year survival and quality of life years. Now, if I say that again, a predictive biological marker, a predictive biomarker, is a special test that is able to predict 10-year survival and which changes in lifestyle will contribute to a better quality of life, lower risk, and improved health status. In essence, achieving the triple aim of better health, better care, and lower costs. Now, what are these essential predictive biomarker tests to determine functional age? Well, they are HS hemoglobin A1C. This relates to sugar, insulin, and energy. It relates to AGE, the age-related glycation end products, and the predictive goal value should be less than 5%. Then there's HSCRP, high sensitivity C-reactive protein, to measure repair and inflammation status with a goal of less than 0.5 milligrams per deciliter. Then there's HCY, or the homocysteine in a high sensitivity detection system to measure detoxification, epigenetics, methylation, and the sulfur pathways with a goal of less than 6 micromoles per liter, and HSLRA, the high sensitivity lymphocyte response assay to assess immune memory and repair tolerance, the goal being no delayed reactions and restoration of full immune tolerance. Then there are 4 elective candidate predictive biomarker tests to determine functional age, and these include the 4 that we see here, the top left being the first AM urine pH. That's for assessing mineral need and cell acidosis risk, with a predictive goal value of 6.5 to 7.5. Then there's vitamin D, the 25-hydroxycholecalciferol vitamin D levels, which measure cell communication status with a range of 50 to 80 nanograms per ml. Below that, in the turquoise, the omega-3 index, a measure of omega-3 to omega-6 EFA, essential fatty acids, the ratio of omega-3 to 6 EFA in the cell membranes, and that omega-3 to 6 ratio is important with a predictive goal value of more than 8%, and then the 8-hydroxoguanine, or the 8-oxoguanine, or the 8-hydroxodesoxyguanosine, 2 names for the same molecule, that measures oxidative stress and antioxidant status in the nucleus and adds an additional component to these predictive biomarker assessments with the predictive goal value of less than 5 nanograms per milligram creatinine. And if we look at these 8 comparing usual or normal lab ranges with the best outcome goal values, we see the difference. We see hemoglobin A1C should be less than 5%. We see HSCRP should be less than 0.5. We see homocysteine should be less than 6 micromoles per liter. The LRA should be showing immune tolerance and no delayed reactions. The first AM urine pH should be within the healthy 6.5 to 7.5 narrow range. The vitamin D should be in the higher 50 to 80 nanograms per ml healthier range. The omega-3 index should be more than 8%, and the 8-hydroxodesoxyguanosine should be less than 5 nanograms per milligram creatinine. To summarize all of this in terms of lifetime health, the good news, the amazing news, is that 92% of our lifetime health is choices. And as we see on the left, 8% is genetic, but 92% is epigenetic influences on gene expression, and the predictive biomarkers measure this upstream before subclinical disease, long before chronic disease. You can manage chronic disease based on the predictive biomarkers, but better yet, you can use the predictive biomarkers to reduce risk and to enhance people's quality of life before they lose good health and slip into the chronic ill health category that currently occupies over 2/3 of adults. So these qualified predictive biomarkers and personalized evidence-based tests include, starting at the top, the hemoglobin A1C, the HSCRP, the homocysteine, the LRA by ELISA ACT, the first AM urine pH, the vitamin D, the omega-3 index, and the 8-oxoguanine. And we recommend this specific subset of 8 predictive biomarker tests to cover the 92% that you can influence, showing where people are strong and resilient, but also showing where they're at risk and in need of changing habits to enhance quality of life, to reduce risk, to improve how they function and feel in the short run, but also to improve their probability of living long and well. So we've looked at 5 key strategies in thriving practices. This is the WellGuard program. It includes LRA tests that identify immune-damaging food and chemical harmful reactions, the HAQ, the Health Assessment Questionnaire. It includes removing excess and damaging toxins, both by reducing the load and enhancing detoxification competence. It includes restoring and rebuilding, including targeted supplementation to meet 21st century needs in safer, more effective forms. And it includes the alkaline way to consuming, to diet, and lifestyle, which we have emphasized in this particular program. So for getting started, to open an account, call a toll-free number in North America, 1-800-553-5472. That's 1-800-553-5472 in North America. Or visit a website, www.eli.sact.com/new-account-set-up-form/. And if you already have a PERC or ELISA Act Biotechnologies account, let your account specialist know you want to offer the WellGuard program in your practice. There are 5 key strategies to restoring health. I'm Russ Jaffe. It's been my privilege to present this to you. May you all be well and happy. If you have questions, please send questions by email to clientservices@elisaact.com or clientservices2@perc.com. Include webinar question in the subject line. Thank you for your interest. We are grateful for the opportunity to serve. We are able to do original science to document the value of the integrative, comprehensive, holistic approaches that remove obstacles to recovery and evoke healing responses. And we're able to do this original science because of your support and because of the resources we can generate through your support. So help us help you, your staff, and your patients so that we can all be well and happy the alkaline way. Thank you.